Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Now guys, I'm gonna just jump straight into it. As you can see in the title, we'll be talking about the whole COVID-19, how it's affecting Jamaica specifically, and just to share my experience in the UK in terms of what it was like. Because to be fair, what I'm hearing now that is taking place in Jamaica, it is pretty similar to where we were in the UK, because we're no longer there anymore. So I just think it would be insightful just to give my 2 cents on the whole situation, the whole craziness that's going on with the pandemic. Now, as you guys are aware, for those who have family members in Jamaica or you watch the news, however, most people would be aware that Jamaica is pretty much just getting the full blunt of COVID-19. I say just getting because things are getting out of hand. It's pretty similar to what I saw here in the UK in terms of what they say on the news, in terms of hospitalization, the lockdowns, stuff like that. It's pretty similar, which, to be fair, I started to feel a bit fearful for everyone in Jamaica. I have felt that way recently. I've been feeling that way recently. So let me just share my experience, as in when we were in a similar position as Jamaica is now facing when it comes on to lockdown and all of that, you name it. So first off, I remember when COVID just came out and we had our first official lockdown. I'm not gonna say that I didn't believe COVID exists. I just didn't take it as seriously as I should have taken it. And I'm pretty sure I caught something. I'm pretty sure I must have caught COVID back then, because I remember within the first couple months when we had the lockdown and all of that, and the government was a bit confused and giving mixed signals and so on, I caught something that felt like flu, but 10 times worse. So I experienced a crazy illness that had me in bed. I had cold shivers. I felt like I was literally gonna die. So at the time, I was like, whoo, this thing must be real. But I was still a little bit reluctant to accept fully that this is a deadly disease and so on and so forth. But I know that I caught something back then that felt pretty terrible. However, I never actually felt fear until the lengthy lockdown. And this was because when we had that long, lengthy lockdown in the UK, I felt pretty sick. Like I said, I caught something, and I remember it going, and then it came back, and I was having these cold shivers, and I thought that I needed to seek medical attention. Now, when I called up, and this was what made me felt fear, is this. When I called up the medical services, they were pretty much asking you questions to the effect of whether or not you are dying. Believe it or not, guys. And when I wasn't able to tell them that I wasn't suffering from shortness of breath, or I wasn't on the floor dying, they said I wasn't an emergency. Even though I felt like I was dying, even though I felt like I was ill, they said I wasn't an emergency. And at that point, no one could go into hospital unless you were pretty much dying. Guys, that was a scary time. I've even expressed this to people. It was very scary for a lot of us here in the UK. At the time, Jamaica wasn't having it that much, because I think Jamaica had locked out the UK at the time. But guys, it was so scary, because to think you can't go to the hospital unless you're dying, unless you're literally, you need oxygen or something like that. That for me was a wake-up call, and I'm like, oh my God, this is serious. I actually thought the world was coming to an end then, because I'm like, I've never experienced anything of this sort. This cannot be real. Now, seeing Jamaica go through this, and this was just a couple days ago that I actually started to feel that exact fear that I felt when we were going through the same thing. I'm actually scared for my family in Jamaica. And one of the major things why I'm more scared is because the whole confusion going on with the vaccine, with people just reluctant to do certain things, to follow guidelines, because these days everybody is just paranoid. I mean, nothing is wrong with being suspicious of things, but this whole thing of everything, we put something to it to mean more than it actually is, which can actually be more dangerous to our health than actually doing the right thing. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I just accept everything that is fed to me, but I'm really scared for my family and I'm scared for Jamaicans because there's too much confusion. And where you have confusion, you're gonna have problems, and people are just too easily swayed by word of mouth, what everybody else say, and nobody really do research for themselves. For example, of course, some people take vaccines. And of course, you've heard that some people died from vaccination. But the issue that I'm having with this, and the issue that's happening now, is that people are making it seem like COVID vaccine is the only vaccine that has killed. The truth is, because there's not much education in the media, people would know that many vaccines that has done for flu, for other illnesses, people have had effects, it has had a negative effect on people, and it has had positive effect on people. And when it comes on to vaccination and all of these things, it is never 100%. It is never 100%. Everything is a risk. You understand? I'm not saying that, that's a good thing. But what people need to weigh is how high of a risk it is to their life. Because every vaccine is a risk. But of course, it is now being promoted, and people will always push what is more popular. Or however, I'm not saying that I'm so crazy about vaccination and all of that. I'm just saying that the problem and the fear that I'm having is that there's too much confusion in Jamaica, and people are not really, getting the information for themselves. They're just listening to, the grapevines, and that can be very, very dangerous. Guys, it's just, I don't know. I am just praying for Jamaica, because right now, the pictures I've been seeing of people on the floor, hospitals running out of oxygen, they're only taking emergency cases. It is very troubling, guys. And all I can say to people, take precautions, guys. Whether or not you believe COVID exists, take precautions and do your research, do your own research. Stop listening to what everybody else is saying. I mean, like I said, guys, I'll never tell anyone what to believe, but just know, guys, that COVID is real. It is real. It is not a fake. It is there. So if people want to be careless and allow themselves to catch COVID-19, that's really up to them. But this virus, this disease, this COVID is real. It is a reality. It may not be at your front door yet, but trust me, if you don't take precautions, it will be there. And this is what people need to understand, that COVID is real. It's there. And they need to take precaution because it kills. So that's really it, guys. It's really a sad situation to see Jamaica, under this devastation, when Jamaica, we're not even that massive. Our population is not that big. So I'm just hoping and I'm praying for a speedy recovery from this devastation for Jamaica. And I just hope people will start educating themselves and stop listening to everybody else and just get facts. You understand? So guys, that's really my thoughts on it. And the whole devastation that's taking place in Jamaica. Guys, Jamaica, just stay safe, just stay positive, and I'm sure you guys will get through this storm. I'm sure you guys will get through this by the help of Almighty God. So guys, that's really it. That's my thoughts on the matter. You know, share your thoughts as well. What do you think about what's going on in Jamaica, and you know, how best you think the government should be dealing with this, or if you think the government is doing it the best way possible. So guys, that's really it. You do take care. Until next time, Godspeed. Bye guys.